The next major event will rock your world, and it's gonna blow your socks off, catch you off guard if you're not ready. The next major event is gonna drive you insane if you're not prepared. And my pioneers, they're gonna be prepared. We got a whole lot to talk about today. Sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in this matrix and galaxy. And first and foremost, I want to remind you all how powerful you are. You're goddesses and gods, made in the image of the Elohim. Genesis 1:26. 27 tells us this. Don't never forget it. My videos, my episodes, my messages are all about empowering you. It's never about fear. That's false evidence appearing real. That tends to make people forget everything and run. And fear in 2022 ain't no place for it here. It's got to get the hell up out of here. It's closing time. It ain't got to go home, but it can't stay here. This is a place here on the Daily Candle Close News of love and empowerment. And at the same time, we give the red pills. The real knowledge, gnosis, wisdom, and information. Right now, it's all about letting love guide us, not fear. At the same time, it's about becoming aware that our world within us is changing at a supersonic speed. And if you're prepared for the next major event, well, then you won't be rocked out of your chair. You won't be caught off guard. You'll be ready for any and everything here in this matrix reality, in this realm that we live in. So, on this beautiful day, wherever you are, one love, take a deep breath of that good-ass Merkaba energy, that prana, what most people call breath, and exhale all the worry. I feel alive today, sending out the frequency and the vibrations, so take that, much love. Did you wake up knowing that you are the greatest of all time within your own paradigm? Because if you did, that's great. Because the next major event is on the way. And it's gonna rock the world. I remember reading 1984 about George Orwell. And if you want a vision of the future, just imagine somebody stomping on your face forever, day in and day out. And I say to hell with that. We're living in a world right now so fake that the truth actually scares people. And when you're afraid of the truth, well, what happens? The truth gets replaced with a lie. And when you take a look at everything that's unfolding right now in the universe and matrix, all at once people are confused, disorientated, lost, distracted, mostly because of the news, the broken compass, and it's actually changed the world. And we're going to talk about the next major event that is going to shock the world even more. Are you ready for it, pioneers? Peace, love, high vibrations sending out to you, not to fear you, because we know what's coming. We have the playbook. The next major event, the cyber pandemic, the solar flares, the alien invasion. We're ready. You know, we're winning. Millions of people right now are reclaiming their power, becoming manifestation experts and scholars, becoming aware wolves, not werewolves, but aware wolves to the realm and reality we live in. They're getting liberated from this kangaroo circus show that we watch, this movie that we see each and every day. We're now starting to see the world for what it really is. Whatever we make it to be. See, when you go deep down the rabbit hole, you realize everything you know, most of it is up for questioning. And then you start to unlearn what you've been taught, and then you start to remember who you truly are, a god and a goddess with amnesia. So you're not going to be rocked out of your chair when this next major event comes. Because we know since 2020 and the bear flu pandemic, the world has been shocked. And everything changed. Planet lockdown, quarantine, face mask, 6 feet. Get or you can't go nowhere, you can't keep your job, etc. You know, and a lot of that's still going on in some places. China just locked back down by 65 million. Artists are closing down their events left and right by the dozens. The Queen just passed away. And we know what happens when the Queen leaves the chessboard and something big is coming. Sometimes the game is over. So, with all this going on right now, it's really our time to go within and find the confirmation that we're living in a matrix and we better get out of it and free ourselves and go out into nature and create our own world so we don't get trapped in that metaverse that's coming. See, there are inorganic forests that has been around forever, and their sole purpose is to make sure human beings never ascend to a higher conscience, to a higher vibration, and they control you with fear and disinformation. And their greatest fear is your power. Their greatest fear is your awakening. Can I get a hello? They can only control you with fear and division. So don't let them get your energy. Wake up to your true power. And be the artist of your own book, the director of your own movie. Don't forget who you are. COVID, creating our vision in detail. That's what we teach you here. That's what it stood for. It was an acronym. Create your own vision in detail. Another event is coming. We saw war with Russia, Ukraine. Another event is coming. We're in the Shemitah year, the 7-year sabbatical cycle. Just like 9/11, 2021. Or 2001, I'm sorry. We keep seeing events unfold. And this is why I've been preparing you for this for 3 years. I've been trying to tell you everything so you don't get rocked out of your chair. You notice how everyone's getting excited right now that gas is down low and things are going a little decent in the economy. But elections are coming up and it's about to get real rocky. And this is true. And we got a choice between love or fear, the new earth, a new era, or the matrix, freedom or slavery. Every possibility is always in your hand and it starts in your mind. There's a split in the world happening right now. Some people call it the awake and the asleep, the sheeple and the people, etc. That's duality consciousness, black, white, left, right. All we know is the whole world is dividing right now, and this is going to lead to the next major event. Some people are awake and aware to what is going on. Some people are perfectly programmed in their TikToks, their sporting events, their WAP videos, giving up their energy to the Queen's passing. Get out into nature. You're the kings, you're the queens. Humanity's been in a sunken dark place for a long time, and it's because of elective information. We have the choice to create whatever we want. Instead, we scroll on TikTok and read this article and do that and put our energy anywhere and everywhere instead of inside of ourselves. We used to empower each other. And that's what we've got to start doing again today. We've got to remind ourselves that we've seen chaos. Now we can create order out of it. But if we get lost in the chaos, then that's where we're going to stay stuck. If you can't see the writing on the wall and what's coming, then I don't know what to tell you, because it's becoming obvious with what is going on in the matrix reality right now that we live in. Because everything is leading up to this next major event. Everything's about the digital you, the avatar, which will replace you. It's not a coincidence, you guys. At the start of the year, we heard that talk about the metaverse. It'll offer you this new experience of life. You can plug yourself in and live up to 150 years as long as you are willing to download your consciousness to a living app. See, the metaverse is all about replacing you, the human, with a digital version, an avatar that you'll live through. And this is all part of the next major event, the cyber attack that's coming. The financial liquidity crisis that's coming. The alien invasion that's coming. The higher gas prices and coming, the food and shortages that are coming. It was all planned. It's all in their playbook. A lot of you are in for a rude awakening. We got to prepare our minds right now. Our bodies, our hearts, our souls, our financial stabilities. We don't want to be unprepared. One of the most important years heading into the 50-year biblical Jubilee year. The first one again since 1973. And we're watching it all play out right now. And we're seeing countries and people become divided, and it's all part of the plan. This Bolshevik regime, this Hegelianistic problem, reaction, solution, creating a new system we're heading into, this social credit scoring. See, it didn't just work with C-19. It wasn't enough. They need another event. And it's coming. We're going to see another pandemic, you guys. And you're going to hear it here first. And the next pandemic is going to lead to the next major event. And the next pandemic is going to be even worse than C-19. That was just a fly on the wall. That's what Klaus Schwab said. And this next event is going to make people wear the mark. Revelations 13:16, and it calls it all, both small and great, to wear a mark. What mark? It's coming. Are you ready? This is not to fear you, to scare you. Again, this is to raise the frequency and raise the vibration to get you ready for what's coming. Don't get lost though. Don't fear, don't turn around and stop watching now. We're only 12 minutes into this video. But the mark will become visible, and this is all part of the plan. Really to make people wear this technology, this transhumanist agenda. It'll be your identification, your finances, your health. See, you have to have that QR code, but it won't be a QR code. It'll probably be something else. They'll scan you. You'll have that bracelet, whatever. If you want to travel, you'll have to have it. Because the outbreak that's coming is going to basically lead to that requirement. Look at how fast people threw an untested drug in their arm. There's a resistance building up right now. And it's because people have said, I've had enough. I see through the lies. I'm awakening into who I truly am. A god and a goddess made in the image of the Elohim. And we're coming together, uniting to defeat this. But I'm reminding you of what's happening on this planet. The apex predator, their goal. But we are all we have. The only one that inorganic ones can control us is through separations. We got to unite today before this next major event. That's what I hope for. That's what we're planning for here on the Daily Candle Close News. There will be a community of light. That will be a complete opposite of what you see, this dictator, communism, socialist regime that is pushing. You'll see warrior kings and queens rise up that make warrior kings and queen babies. Having higher consciousness to be able to live in this new era, new world that we're moving into. Remember, two worlds are merging together right now. So you're going to know who's awake and who's fast asleep as we continue to transition through the rest of this year. See, there are chosen ones from all around the world that are going to unite from all around the world with different skill crafts that will form this community where love will reign free. But there will be another world where people are living in slavery and bondage, steel, sufferings, and separation with no control. And which one are you going to be? What world are you going to live in? The world of slavery or the world out in the nature? The world in the metaverse, or, ones wearing the mark that needed to go anywhere and everywhere? Or are you going to be like the yogi in the Tibetan mountains without a worry in the world? Just reminding you all to prepare for what's coming. Sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are, because what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality one day. And what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset. And what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset becomes an unconscious action and an unconscious activity. And you guys, I've always just wanted mine to be guideful, helpful, and nurturing to others. And I won't talk a whole lot much more about the Queen today. I really think we need to stop giving this monarch our energy and our Merkaba that we spoke about yesterday in the episode that I did do. I did share why we saw this and why we saw it when we saw it, and have preemptively programmed and prepared my pioneers for this in advance for months as to why we would see her die this year. And those of you that have made comments, I even got a death threat from someone because of the video I made, and it's ridiculous. If you really do believe it was because she was 96 years old and her age, then you're an absolute fucking fool. But I don't want to see people continue to give away their energy to these monarchs, etc. They have no power to me. To me, they don't even fucking exist in my world. These people aren't even fucking real half the time. A lot of them are holograms. The news, the pictures, the TVs, etc. are fucking fake. So when the news says someone dies on a certain day, you believe that? Really? I mean, come on, man. Like, it's time to tap into our higher selves right now. The reason they do these things and events on the exact day and exact times that they do it is because it has a numerological value and significance. A lot of the times around an astrological date as well. And it's an overall energy harvesting event. And like today is like literally the full harvest moon. So it's not fucking rocket science, you guys. Everything you see in this matrix of reality and from your broken compass news, again, it's a broken compass, north, east, west, south, is how they spell it, NEWS, wrong, it's make-believe, and always by the numbers. And we have literally proved this time and time again, countless times for the past few years. So when I hear this word of elites, you're the fucking elite. You're the most powerful beings on this planet, and they know this. That's why they need your energy, your Merkaba, your life force, your prana, and you have superpowers. And I'm just here to throw water on you and wake you up and ask you if you're ready to fucking be great today. That's truly one of my greatest desires, for people to wake up every day and become the I am that I am, that I know that they are. To be their own president of their own lives. To not worry about what's going on with the royals or the Kardashians. Because the only world that exists is your world. So change it while being great in the process. Be so great that everyone around you gets influenced by your greatness. The elite use emotion, energy in motion, to help put their plans in motion. That's why celebrities die before a major event is about to take place. Kobe Bryant's death was an emotional global event used to bring forth C-19, and this Queen's death is another global emotional event to bring forth the cyber attacks, the alien invasion, the virus or climate lockdowns, the Golden Gate Bridge collapse or bombing, they say. Who knows? But it is coming. Emotional or grieving equals a weakened mindset. Don't do that. This is such a soul-sucking and energy and prana harvesting event right here today around the full harvest moon. The Shemitah year that we talk about that has everything to do with the harvest and Father Time and Kronos, the god of the harvest. Something we've prepared you for over a year for, and for months have prepared you for the death of the Queen Bee ritual. Okay? They repeat history in a time loop. Just study history. You need to be able to empower yourself no matter what cards you were dealt. Play them like you got pocket aces. These people, again, aren't even real. The only reason they have power is because people give them power. Their power. You have the power, not them. So I'm just here not to play the game. I'm here to change it and to program divergence and glitches in this matrix. And if you want to soar high and access those wings you have, then you got to move past this good, this bad, this black, this white, this duality, this whatever nonsense, and just evolve and just vibrate higher on a higher frequency and higher vibration. Okay? So don't get lost in the sauce. Again, this was a black magic ritual that I'm sure we'll go over by the end of the video to even add more confluence than I did yesterday in the very descriptive 1-hour video that I shared around this Queen Bee ritual. But for now, we'll go ahead and get into the cryptocurrency technical analysis and market psychology for this video that I promised that I'd bring out, because I didn't obviously yesterday. It was really just a video specifically about the Queen Bee. So here we are, let's get started. We have Bitcoin on the Bitstamp chart. We're on the monthly chart, and there are 3 key levels well worth talking about and noticing. First is going to be this $19,666 range. Not surprising, that's actually what it truly hit. Pay attention right here, a high of $19,666, the 3 sixes. It's crazy. We're still in the 36th week of the year, about to exit out of that. That 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18, or the 3 sixes, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons that make up every cell of every atom of our body, the Homo sapien body. This was the December 1st, 2017 high, and it wasn't December 1st, it was later in the month, but we're on the monthly time frame, remember that. This is what we have been considering our psychological $20,000 range that we need to hold, or that 1993 Shemitah year, something we've been discussing on a broader, deeper 2-hour time frame as well. So again, 2017 all-time high. A very interesting point because it was being called out by many people last year during 2021, saying during this time period, back in May, we were going back to 20K, which we did. We held structure and then kept going up for a new all-time high before ultimately now coming back down to 21,500. So we then fell off in 2017 into a bear market. Breaking this down on a smaller time frame, we can really show an ABC correction and everything, a spring and structure, a V-shaped recovery but ultimately this shows our bear market lows of 2018. Another automatic rally taking us up to, June area. This is $13,880. So we know we're in the 13-year anniversary of Bitcoin. Bitcoin turns 14 years old in October, saw win next month. So it's typically a good time period, the third, fourth week of October for Bitcoin. So we're approaching that time period very closely. So ultimately, this is around that $13,900 range. 139 is the 34th prime number. 3 plus 4 is 7. We're in the 7-year sabbatical cycle. So something I wanted to bring up, very important. This is another key area for us, and I'll show you why these are key areas. So talking about this all-time high that we're holding structure of right now is very important. Going on our 4th month, holding a sideways structure as support for our Bitcoin price action. Very important to see whether or not we continue to close above this or below this line. If not, then that gives us, more indication that we're heading down to a lower accumulation range. That's why these are green. Accumulation right here. It's kind of a key for you. De-risking right here. 32,200. 322 skull and bones. So another range that we can talk about is this right under $10,000. When we bring up the volume range, we get right there. This is the VPVR, that is the visible range volume profile, and we can see a lot of volume in the market. So showing me a lot of buyers in the market right here at around $8,500 to this $10,000 range psychologically. So being conservative, $9,900. Kind of helps us understand if we're likely to see a possible dip all the way down there. Got a lot of volume and buyers packed in right there, it looks like. So a lot to talk about. If we was to break this level and we get down to this 13K range, that would definitely be the next area where traders would be looking for support. So one thing to notice is the Bollinger Bands are on the monthly time frame. We're still hanging out right there on the bottom, but it's starting to widen open, and we don't like to see that. Not being down here on the bottom, we don't like to see this. Anything can happen. So I'll show you why that's more important in a minute. One thing is a lot of indicators that people don't like to use or don't really much know about. This bottom red line is the 333-day moving average. This top one is the 444-day moving average. Very exoteric numbers. And we get these pi cycle tops coming in with pi cycle lows coming in. Pi cycle lows coming in. Pi cycle low recently activated. So very important. Still haven't got a pi cycle top. So showing me a possibility that over time in the next year or the next couple of years, we could still see this go significantly a lot higher before we get this next pi signal top come in. But every time we went above this red 444-day exponential moving average on the monthly time frame, and I did program that to the daily, this 444, it's on the daily while being on the monthly time frame. But every time we get above this is when we get a pi cycle top, and we haven't got that last year, where a lot of people believe the top came in. So not giving hopium, but still anything is possible in the matrix. So Bitcoin is really sensitive when it comes to doing something that you don't think it could do. It's kind of like tell me I won't. It's kind of like the mentality it has. Again, we can't control the market and will it to do what we want it to do. I just want to break down this monthly time frame and start to show you what do we see. So on the monthly, the RSI is kind of, not even midway through. It can drop to oversold. It hasn't happened on the monthly in Bitcoin history, but it can happen. So that's important. And the stochastic RSI on the monthly can show some momentum to the upside as well. So specifically, that's kind of both bullish for us as long as this RSI can continue to show us momentum, because that's what these are, momentum indicators to the upside, both the stock RSI on the monthly and this relative strength index. The MACD is starting to wane off, and on the monthly in volume, so seeing a lot of seller exhaustion probably coming in on this MACD, but I'm not liking this signal. Already entering this negative territory, so I want to definitely see a move for the bulls continue to push us up. Now let's break this back down. That's enough for the monthly time frame. Right now, seeing us at 21,500. That's a good thing. That's something we've been talking about for quite some time. And the Gaussian channel on the monthly time frame. Like to look at it on the weekly, and it's it typically shows us one very important indicator. I almost forgot to bring it up, but our 2014-15, our last Shemitah year, we obviously then entered into a bear market right after the Shemitah, and this redness in the Gaussian channel, which is like an aggregated collection of multiple moving averages, it shows us where was an opportunity of great accumulation before those who were patient was able to de-risk, where we got back above and flipped this red to green and got back above it. Same thing in our previous bear market, 2017 and 18, we entered in this Gaussian channel. When it turned red, a bear market, and pretty much indicating that's what we're still in, this duality consciousness of bull bear market right now, according to this Gaussian channel. We can't determine everything on one indicator, but it's obviously proven as a great accumulation opportunity for those who are patient. One thing to note is it looks like this seems to turn red and stay red less and less over time, but it's only happened twice. So until we see a failed indication of this hold true, then it's going to be something great to keep on your charts moving forward, is this Gaussian channel. Very, very important. I think that's all we wanted to talk about. A couple moving averages on the monthly time frame are the 200, which is your pink, the 55, your 34, and the 21. The 21 on the monthly crossing this 200, that's pretty bearish. Pioneers, we don't want to see that. We'd like to see this just come barely and then get back above. We want to see price action bring this back above. This red is the 34. We know that's a red hot zone. The fact that both of these have crossed the 55 is not a good sign either, Pioneers. So the more that these slope down shows me a possibility of a potential bull trap at any time, sending us down to this possible 139 range, the 34th prime number. 3 plus 4 is 7 in the 7-year sabbatical cycle, and we can go even lower. So that 161 is the golden ratio of pi before we even get to that range. It can be a very important range. It's right here at this previous top and cluster of price action. So very important. So definitely want to keep that in mind. Plus this possible W pattern breakout on the monthly time frame could be very, very bullish for Pioneers who are taking advantage of these potential lows with a higher low in structure that is bullish. So don't get lost in what the moving averages are telling us, even though they look bearish. All right. So let's talk about something we've been looking at is the 2-hour time, not this chart, negative. 2-hour time frame. I mean, in my Queen video, I shared with you why this ended up being the bear trap. We fall to 18,700 at the same time that the Queen dies. 187 is the penal code for murder. A previous video I'd shared how this was a possible bear trap, but we couldn't get back above this cluster of trading range right here at around 20,400. 24 in the Jupiter year, the 2 and the 4 that we get in the Jupiter logos, so we know why that's important as well. So we ended up falling into this, bear pennant, descending triangle that broke down lower to a bear trap at roughly 18,700. We've had that range right here at an accumulation level going back in time for 2+ months now. So we knew this 187 was important. This time period was around July 6th, which was 7/6, tying us into skull and bones, the Brotherhood of Death, and it was the 187th day of the year. So that's why this range and price range was important. We know this. So it's not surprising to see a bear trap come in the markets that's balled up in this V-like shaped recovery that I shared with you all in my last video, because we could not get back above this horizontal trading range of 1993 that ultimately has taken us right back above 21,500, 215, back above both our 223 and our 322 exponential moving averages. Again, tying us into skull and bones, you guys, the Brotherhood of Death. You cannot make this stuff up. So let's break this down even more. Bitcoin, what are we doing? Huge reversal. Okay, what does this mean? The bears got trapped, no doubt. We've talked previously about this bounce, this bounce, this bounce, this bounce, 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 bounce. The level got lost though, okay, but we held support, okay, and we didn't get a break of structure and a bearish retest that would have led to lower prices. We got a very strong move to the upside because the bulls bought in. The bulls trapped the bears. Boom. Saw all this volume come in. Look at this. Ton of volume. Histograms on the MACD, just euphoric, okay? RSI, overheld, overbought. So very important. It would be a bullish pullback to support if we get this, if we don't continue to hold 21.5 as support. So it would be completely normal to see something like a Elliott wave, this be a 1, 2, 3. This could not just be our 4. Our 4 is usually our biggest pullback, so it could come back to around these moving averages, okay, before continuing up to this 22,300 or even higher, this 22,700, a very important range. That's where we broke structure into a bear flag that broke structure into a, basically a bear pennant and a descending triangle that broke structure. So very important. We'll go ahead and delete that. But this is just part of it, you guys. The bulls showed up, okay, and they trapped the bears. Why? It was pre-programmed into an algorithmic code around the Queen's death. Again, I shared why we saw the news, when we saw it, by the numbers, and I got a little bit more to share about that today. So we knew we were in this falling wedge, 68% chance to break out. We broke out, couldn't get above our horizontal trading range, treated as support, boom, held support, had a breakout. So this is kind of like a cup and handle, boom. So just banging, you guys. You've got to understand these probabilities, these ranges, the things that we've been teaching here for 3 months on the 2-hour time frame, and you can really change your life by watching just the last 3 months of work, paying attention to how we get this information and utilize it in the markets. I mean, irrefutable, you guys. So, undeniable. One thing to note is this is going all the way back to July 6th, the 187th day of the year, till this breakout, or when we saw the Queen die, and the low of around 187. It was a span of 62 days. The Queen, we know, was highly tied to this 62 number. That's when she started her reign. Her Platinum Jubilee this year was on 6/2. So very important, irrefutable. Okay, you guys? One other thing is when we go from our August 15th, which was very symbolic to the Nixon shock of 1971 and why we saw 25K Bitcoin not hold its support. Well, we then fell down 25 days until we started pumping back up towards 25K. So very important, irrefutable. 25K, 25 days in a downtrend. Irrefutable, you guys, undeniable. You can't make some of these things up. It's simply just this easy, but you can't get lost in the sauce. You got to be able to, build the craft and skill that we are teaching here, and it's unique, it's advanced. It's not like others are teaching, and sometimes we're wrong, and that's when we go bigger, because those are our best trades. My favorite trades when I'm wrong and I got a chance to flip my bias, because I might have got trapped, but I can counter trade what everybody else is doing because they're going to be trapped. So anyways, let's just continue on. Got some more to bring up about yesterday. Going back to our last blood moon, and taking it and comparing it to September 8th, 2022, Queen Elizabeth's death. They tell us it was 3 years and 33 weeks, and that we know that 333 ties us into, the Royal Arc of Freemasonry, and again that gives us 117, tying us into Bitcoin. So no wonder why we see her die on a day that's literally tied to the last blood moon by 3 years and 33 weeks, and not a day more or a day less. So irrefutable, you guys. She was 96 years old when she died. Yesterday I shared that when you type out Queen Elizabeth II, it equals 96 in numerology. She died 96 days after she lit the tree of life. You can't make this up. Why did they give us this when they gave it to us? Queen Elizabeth II dead on September 8th equals 322, tying us again into Skull and Bones and the Brotherhood of Death. Queen Elizabeth dead, 322. It's always by an algorithmic code by some of the biggest sorcerers on this planet and realm. The Bonesmen, the Brotherhood of Death, Order 322, which is why I've specifically made my work this year centered around this since February, and have broken this down in probably a couple hundred different ways and shared why this number is irrefutably one of the biggest ritualistic used numbers out there. So very important that we continue to just see these magnificent connections. They're sharing this article in Britain and telling them to anticipate for 10 days of mourning Queen Elizabeth, and we know that actually King Charles now, and they met a dude queen apparently, has actually elected it to extend another 7 days, and that's going to actually take us to, guess what, the start of Rosh Hashanah this year, something we've been teaching you about for over a year now. So irrefutable how important that is. And look at what time this article came out, at 3:22 p.m. So, and that was in Britain. I'm not doing this. I'm just sharing with you these beautiful connections that we've been making. Ultimately, it was around the Queen again, you guys, and I can't believe I have to come back out here and shed more energy on this, because it is solely, like I said, to drain your Merkaba, your life force, your soul. your battery, okay? They use you as batteries, okay? So to explain this is just crazy. It always comes back to black magic giving us that same 62 as queen. But you gotta understand that magic is not spelled M-I-G-I-C. It is spelled M-I-G-I-C-K-A. Black Magica, okay? Spelled with a K, alright? Giving us that same 26. The mirror of 62 we get in black magic and queen, okay? Irrefutable. I explain why this 62 is so important. But this always comes back to the ka and the ba, the Merkaba, your energy, okay? The ka and the ba giving you the 15. The queen was highly tied to this 15. She ruled over 15 Commonwealth realms. She died in the year of the tiger, 15. I explained this yesterday. Ka giving you 15, ba giving you 15, Mer giving you that 36. She died in the 36th week of the year. Merkaba is you're gonna have to spell it like that, giving you the 59. She died on 9/8, you guys, a day that added up to 59 in numerology. In the 2022 year, in the 7-year sabbatical cycle, 49 is the 7 times 7, the square root of 7. So you guys, you cannot make this up as to why you're seeing this. 37th prime number, the 37, 7 plus 7 plus 7 is 21. Tying us all into Saturn, always, Father Time, and Chronos, the harvest, okay? Again, she died at 96. Saturn gives us 69, as above, so below. So that's all I'm gonna share on this queen, you guys. The rest of this video, I'm gonna get back into doing some cryptocurrency technical analysis, and hopefully that sheds enough light on all the nonsense that you're seeing the world give their energy away to. Something I've tried to prepare people for months. And to even get a death threat and a message from somebody because of this it just shows how low centered in gravity and how dense they are. They're definitely not being a light worker. So let's zoom in so we can get a better view of things. I hardly ever do this because I always forget. But I know I got a really messy chart, and we'll start cleaning this up as time goes on. Like this range we knew in one of my previous videos that we are now trying to see if we can get back above. This is going to be a range we need to hold. So let's go ahead and delete this. We don't need it anymore. And let's talk about something. And it's going to be when I extend this trend line. I'm going to go to settings right here, and I'm going to go to style, and I'm just going to click extend right line. And one thing you're going to notice from our bull trap of August 15th and the Richard Nixon shock this year, saying very very symbolic and resembles the Nixon shock of 1971 this year. When we extend this trend line from top, we get our bear trap bottom and low on 9/6, the day, the queen, she died at 96, so on 9/6 was the low of the $18,700 range. Not surprising, but it touches the top of this trend line. With all these rejections back here, just right in the top of this, it's showing me a lot of significance. The day before the most recent Fed meeting, where we tried to pump above this $21,500 range and was just rejected and manipulated by the Fed down. So all of this is showing me a lot of significance to any trend line right now, and I don't just draw trend lines on my chart for no fucking reason. Okay? So one thing that I'm starting to see first and foremost is we're going to have to pay attention to this. This is important. And look at where we have been correcting from, just perfectly correcting from this. And I haven't moved this. All I did was extend it, you guys. It's been here for weeks, okay? So, this red candle that happened on the 6th of September, it fell down on the 2-hour time frame 3.6% as we were entering, well, guess what, the 36th week of the year. When you go to the daily time frame, guess what, on September 6th, we fell down on this chart it's 5.1. On another chart I was looking at, it's 5.6, and I thought that was interesting because we use numerology and gematria, and we know Bitcoin gives us the 36 on the 2-hour time frame. It was down 3.6%. On another chart I saw it down 5.6%, and I know Bitcoin equals that 56 in reverse ordinal as well. So something I was paying attention to, but I don't know. I don't remember what chart that was I was looking at. So, but anyways, back to what I was saying. We know that numerology matters. So very important. One thing, this 223, 322 exponential moving average is just key. Just goes to show you, we keep showing you guys this video after video of how you can take advantage of the accumulation ranges when you're underneath this to de-risk when you start getting back above it. It's always fixed to this 223, 322. It's amazing. So anyway, getting back, we got some throwback levels to talk about. I'm trying to keep my chart the same. I don't want to move a lot and, add a lot, but this horizontal line right here of 21.5, we've broken it officially right here on, 9.9. Why is that important, you guys? Well, we're in the year of Jupiter. Giving us that 99. We're in the 36th week of the year, about to head out of it. So irrefutable, undeniable. We hit that range on the 9th. Okay, so that's why that's important to me in numerology, astrology. Another thing is, I've been preparing my pioneers for the Mercury station in retrograde time period, and it started on the 9th. And we always know it tends to be going back in time, either just a boring and sideways time period. I haven't got them all drawn out back here, but you can go and do it yourself. Just look them up for these years. But it tends to be either a euphoric price action, like these time periods, choppy and boring and sideways, or just a pump. This one was choppy and boring and led to a pump right at the end, manipulated by the Fed. We know that. We talked about that. But again, once we entered Mercury stationed in retrograde, irrefutable, started on the 8th and 9th of September until October 2nd, and that's 3 days before Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year in the Jewish Hebrew culture. So look at where we're heading into. Irrefutable, undeniable, and important. So, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur coming up. We've got to pay attention to the Jewish Hebrew culture when it comes to finance, and the calendar there when it comes to finance, astrology as well. Mercury station in retrograde, bringing us back up close to this $22,700 range that we got to get back above before we get bullish again. That's going to show us that possible 27 to 33K that we've talked about, which is right there around where our 322 exponential moving average is, right there around that 32,300. So right above 32,200 skull and bones. So Mercury stationed in retrograde again, month after month, holding true. This one held true with a bullish pump at the end because it tends to be boring sideways leading to a pump, but it was very manipulated. If this wouldn't have been manipulated, we could have saw this move take us on back up to around 43K at the time. So, but it didn't. So Mercury stationed in retrograde will continue to pay attention to until October 2nd on my mom's birthday. So crazy I'm talking about that today. My mom's birthday, actually. Today's the day I lost my dad 4 years ago, you guys. So, if only heaven had a smoking section, So very important. Let's continue to go back to breaking down this price chart we were on before we close out this video. Trying to see if I can remember where I was at before I got sidetracked with that thought right there. Throwback levels, 2 hour time frame. Boom. All right. One thing is this 1993, it's a throwback level to me, and it hasn't been back tested yet. And it would be healthy if we get a back test, at least down to a couple of these exponential moving averages. Right now, the 8 is the gray, the 13 is the black, the yellow is the 21, and this 34 is the red. This green is the 55, and this pink is the 200. This 111 is the white. Right now, we're almost in full bullish posture, so we might not see a move to come back and retest these, except for this 34 to this, I would say this 223 exponential, 20,000 psychological, 20,400, where we kept failing to get back above. So let's slide that over. Okay, we know it's going to be a very important back test range. Again, could give us our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leading into a 5 wave if we were to see some type of Elliott wave pattern playing out here. Who knows? Could not be it. But this is very bullish to see the 8 and the 13 and the 21 above the 322 exponential. If we can get this 34 above it as well, and this 55 above both of them, we could be seeing this 223 all the way up to this, this bear flag again. We'll say this parallel channel, and that's going to be bullish if we can hold support with inside of it and get above this 237. So, we have been bearish and continue to be bearish because of the technical analysis off the horizontal trading ranges that we've talked about for months. So it's not like we're just coming out here flip-flopping. We've prepared both target ranges up and down for multiple months here on the daily candle close news. And in the meantime, it's still just maintaining the mindset of a pioneer and an investor. And what I'm seeing is people are actually starting to do that. So, congratulations. So definitely happy for some of you. And I love the work you're sharing with me in the backgrounds. Right now is we just rode the top of this Bollinger Band on the two hour time frame. Very bullish. Came back, held support of the median, and it's looking like it can be continuation if we can get back above and close 2 hour time frames, 2 hour candles on the 2 hour time frame above this top side. That's going to be bullish. But if we don't, and it's the full moon and we start to see bearish energy come in, we know the full moons are typically bearish. But September is a great time to see these moon and lunar cycles flip. So no wonder the full moon is bringing bullish energy. Just like in 1973, etc. I went back and done the time frame and the works and looks. So very important. 1973 was a 1973 to 1975 recession. We could be heading into a very similar time period that was 50 years ago. The 50-year jubilee next year is the next 50-year jubilee, and that is typically what we see in historic market crashes. Just confluence and past data adding up. So very important to pay attention to this, you guys. So the 8 is above. Damn, where's the 200? Okay, the 8's above the 200. That's that red. If we can get this green above this 200 as well, then that's bullish posture for the SMAs, the 8, the 55, and the 200. 8, 55, 200. So this green's got to get above all three of these. That's bullish. Continuation, okay? Those are the ones you want to pay attention to right there, those small, simple moving averages, the ones that can bring some spice in the market if they get above these 223, 322. This 20,400, psychological 20,500 range. So 5-day close, September 8th, closes on the 13th. This is a bullish engulfing. I mean, fuck. We're still in continuation to the upside if we can break above 21.5 and close a 5-day candle over the next 3 days above this. So, no. 29th. If this is the 3rd and this is the 8th, this should close today on the 8th. So if we can close above 21.5, this is a very bullish engulfing on the 5-day, 3-day. Okay, even better. So this one closes. So you got a 5-day and a 3-day close today. We definitely want to see continuation in this 3-day and see it close above 21.5 and hold support. That's bullish. So definitely showing us kind of like a very macro, like I said on the weekly time frame, like a very big possible W pattern breakout if we can just hold support above this 21.5. So yeah, this 5-day looks great to me. This 3-day looks great to me. 2-day, same thing. So you got a 2, 3, and a 5-day closing today. So very important to see all of these get above 21.5. I think that could be key, you guys. Or a possible retest of these ranges, 20,400, 1993. So definitely got these target ranges though that we're talking about. That's potential upside, and I want to see us get there. I really do. I still am bullish on a potential 33K before we see the next eclipse around October 25th, November 7th, November 8th. Bitcoin equals 117. Very important. There's one more chart I want to talk about, and that's this one right here. You guys, we were sad down here, and now we're happy up here. Now we were sad. Now we're kind of getting happy again. Heading back up to the top side of this fallen wedge that we've been in. Macro fallen wedge. Very bullish pattern. We can definitely get up to that weekly or that daily, 29, 30K where the 200 simple moving average is on the daily. The 223 exponential moving average on the daily. It's a possibility, you guys, before we see the bear trap and a lower low in structure. So next eclipse is 11/7, October 25th. One thing about October 25th, today's 2 weeks, 2 days in the 2022 year. Very important. Tomorrow, 9/11, is a day that leaves 111 days left in the year. Bitcoin hit its top on 11/10/111, you guys. So could we see Bitcoin hit a bottom on this 9/11 day? Very symbolic to the towers that fell on 9/11. Tomorrow being a 15-day time period, 2 weeks, 1 day, in the 21st anniversary of 9/11. Something to keep in mind. 21 equals evil. Saturn equals 21. So, this day adds up to 62 and 26 in numerology. This highly ties us into the Queen and her death. Could we see Bitcoin dip tomorrow? Take advantage of any dip, not financial advice. Come on. This is tying us into Rosh Hashanah. She died at 96. Rosh Hashanah and the end and the start of it is a day that leaves 96 days left in the year. This is such an interesting setup tomorrow for 9/11. One more date is tying the Queen's death to the next eclipse is 2 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days. Skull and bones. You can't make this up, you guys. Being 11 weeks in 1 day connection. The 111 tying us into tomorrow, leaving 111 days, 9/11. You guys, very important connections right here. September is really the 7th month. She died on 7/8, not 9/8. Okay, this was 78-day time period. Skull and bones, all behind this, you guys. Irrefutable, undeniable ritual, blood sacrifice. Ancient, dating back thousands of years. Do your own due diligence and research. Read the mythologies. Remember, we talked about this week being the 36th week of the year. The angel of death, Azrael, gives us this 36 in numerology. So we see this. So what if we see an event around Bitcoin tomorrow, around 9/11? Not financial advice. So very important. We just know there's a possible energy and volatility shift that could come in these markets. So very important. So let's move on. Let's see if we've talked about everything we've wanted to talk about today. I think there's one more chart I'll talk about, and that's this one. Going back in time, when we look at it, we just see a lot of connections. I'll just spend a little bit of time. And if you're new here, you're really joining us right now at a special time. Anyone that's been here for a while can definitely probably vouch for that. Even have some OG members that, recently gave me some props that have been working on their own thing. And, they've recently showed up and reached out and, been doing well. Pioneer even sent me a little bit of cash because they've been, trading well. So, I told them they didn't even have to do that. Tried to send it back. They rejected it. So that was humbling, and I'm just trying to always speak my truths and teach people and get people to realize who they are and that they're powerful. Unlock something within instead of being externally influenced. And that's how we get parasited in this realm. But moving on, like I said, this is probably going to be a longer podcast because we got a lot of things to talk about. But here's the 2013 through 2014-15 halving and bull market experience. So right around Q4, Bitcoin hit a peak top right around Q4, like it always does. A peak top or a peak bottom around Q4. Then we entered the Shemitah, and then we hit a bottom around this trend line and around this 223 exponential, 200 simple on the weekly time frame. Okay, and then we had another halving roughly like 4 years later, leading into another bull market in the top, bringing us back down to these exponential movement averages before an automatic rally after the bear market lows. That then was rejected and came back down between these movement averages, back on this trend line that dates back, roughly almost 10 years. And, that's because of the very manipulated C19 bear flu, where the feds came in and then pumped money into infinity and beyond, into, the stratosphere and ionosphere, and brought us into this very double top period where, again, the pi cycles did not show another pi cycle top yet, which haven't failed going back 13 years in history. The pi cycle indicators have never shown to be false. So something I'm taking note of. So we're getting close to the end of the Shemitah, and we can look at this trend line and we can see something very obvious. I started it on this touch point right back here. Basically, boom, right back here. It must have got moved. So it must have been a pretty great time to be in Bitcoin or XRP or Dash or, some of those OG coins, because it did a crazy move back then. Before we entered the Shemitah, where we saw RSI low, before a rally off the RSI showing the same thing in price. Same thing, C-word crash. Same thing, bear market bottom. Rally, touch, rally, touch, rally, touch, rally. So right back here in June, we were holding this trend line that dates back 10 years, all the way until recently, right there around August 15th and the Richard Nixon shock until the past 2 weeks, where we have been just boom in this bullish engulfing and bought right back up. So very similar to like these wicks. Okay, this could not be the low though. I'm not saying this is the low. I stated even back here that this is the low at the time, but that we know a low could be a multi-day, week, or month, or could take even up to a year event. That's how it works in investing. So, and this trend line doesn't absolutely mean anything. It's tertiary to me. It's secondary. You know, anybody can draw a line on a chart, but I'm taking the most impactful data around some very important things that I can bring up that have never failed in this video. And that's the 200 simple moving average on the weekly time frame, the pi cycles, the Shemitah cycles, and common fucking sense around technical analysis as well. So very important. This is right here around the Queen's death, why we see this low that's bought right back up. Again, I believe she just ascended and had an ascension. So again, I think it's why we see Bitcoin shoot right up to around that $21,400 range when we broke this down on a smaller time frame, roughly right after she passes away, because she reigned for, well, she reigned for 70 years, 214 days. So, you know, this $21,400, $21,500 horizontal trading range that I prepared my pioneers for months, it's all very exoterically matching up here to how we do our work. So, but going back to this chart and talking about how anybody can draw a trend line, but what I saw is the transition into this being a very powerful move right here. A very powerful W pattern breakout. But we've got to show weekly closes back above this neckline of 25K. Okay, that would be the bigger picture, where we can break above this neckline, come back, and then see a measured move of, you know, oh man, that could take us to around, literally at the high, 37K. You know, we're about to head into the 37th week of the year, maybe even 38, you guys, as we get ready to head into the 38th week of the year and the end of the Shemitah right here around September 26th. Okay, and why is that going to be important? I break it down very thoroughly in my course. The Shemitah equals 38. And it's going to be ending right there around the 38th, heading into the 39th week of the year. So irrefutable, undeniable. You guys, I can't deny this. So I'm going to go over just a few quick altcoins and show you where we're at right now, and then get off of here. But on the 2-hour time frame is really where we've been spending a lot of our time talking about things like Polkadot, who has just continued to go above that $7.27 range, back up to this $7.69, roughly around that $7.70 that we were speaking about in the 7-year sabbatical cycle. Still trying to see if we can get back up to this $8, this roughly $8 range, to start de-risking some of the chain link that we've been accumulating again. Take our first initial investment back out, and if we're able to get back above our previous high, we'll start de-risking again above this $9.50 range. So again, never too greedy, but always paying attention to the opportunities we get. So, or this was Polkadot. I'm sorry if I called that chain link. This is chain link, you guys. Polkadot above the 223, 322 exponential moving averages. Again, those are our key moving averages we take advantage of. So been accumulating, did a little bit of de-risking. We're waiting to see if we can de-risk about this $10 range next for Polkadot. It's going to be about 963, so around that 96. The Queen died on 96. You see how I'm getting that? I'm going to have limit orders set to de-risk some Polkadot or some chain link around $9.60 if we get there. So boom, Ethereum, we talked about how possibly we could be seeing this on the one, I think it's on the daily time frame. You know, and it doesn't look good, you guys. It's pretty ugly. But we talked about how we could see this possible W light. This is going to be the W I was talking about, getting bought up back to close to this 236, close to this $1,900 range. This is still a range we need to break. If not, we could still be seeing lower, possible $1,200 Ethereum. So not much has changed there. XRP doing its own thing, you guys. And most people think it has a lot to do with this September 19th date coming up, around the Ethereum merge, etc. All that's nonsense. It's all pre-programmed into an algorithmic code, TA, astrology, numerology, gematria, ancient prehistoric teachings, periodic table of elements, pi, and a lot of other things that we teach here. So we talked about we had to get back above this 33.3 cent range, and I've shared why this 33.3 is important. That's literally the language of the angels that I try and teach you here to speak with a gangster dialect, you guys. But most importantly, we've been just euphorically bouncing from this 223, this 322 range that I've shared with my pioneers for several months now. Is just absolutely the best opportunity to take advantage of long and shorts in the markets. I mean, if you're accumulating at this range and de-risking when we get back above these exponential movement averages, then you're winning, you guys. So XRP, it still didn't go to 10K overnight, you guys. I don't know what to tell you, but when you learn how to trade one of the greatest digital assets out there, you can really make money. So I'm just going to leave this video here. It's been a long one, you guys. Take care and God bless. And become your own king or queen, you guys. Stop giving your energy and your Merkaba to these monarchs and etc. Just know there's a bigger event coming. And that's why they are preparing us for it. That's why they took the queen off the world stage and the chessboard. That's why you see artists and entertainers by the dozens and dozens shutting down shows and canceling them. That's why you see China locking down 65 plus million people again. And didn't they kick it off 3 years ago? Get ready for the next one, you guys. Take care and God bless. Pioneers rise. Build your fortress and build your legacy.